Formula One leaves the Middle East behind and heads down under. It's another street circuit, but this time we're in Albert Park, Melbourne. So it's the third round of the season. So far, Red Bull have been the dominating force, winning race 1 and race 2. Now we're in Australia, followed by Azerbaijan in a month's time, and then Miami. Back to a road course for Emilia Romagna and Imola before Monaco, Spain, Canada, Austria. Then we go over to the British Grand Prix in early July, as well as Hungary and Belgium to the summer break. Then Netherlands, Italy round out the European season. Singapore, Japan, Qatar then take us through, followed by the Americas races, the United States, Mexico, Brazil and Las Vegas, and the season rounds out back in the Middle East in Abu Dhabi. So Max Verstappen leads the drivers' standings on 44 points, a point clear of Sergio Perez. Alonso is on 30 points, but it's Sainz and Hamilton tied for 5th on 20 points, 2 clear of Russell. Then it's Stroll, Leclerc and Bottas and Ocon rounding out the top 10. Gasly in 11th place, same points as Ocon and Bottas as well. Magnussen on 1, the same as Albon. Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Sargent, Zhou, De Vries, Piastri, Norris yet to score any points. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead on 87 points to Aston Martin and Mercedes, both on 38. Ferrari have 26 points, Alpine on 8, 4 clear of Alfa Romeo. Haas and Williams on 1 point, no points at all though for AlphaTauri, and alarmingly, McLaren in 10th. It's the 2023 Australian Grand Prix, and this is your first practice session. Let's take a look at the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne. 3297 miles, 14 turns, modified for the first time since 1996, only a few years ago. It's a fast-flowing circuit that now provides overtaking. Get a good strong exit out of the last corner and boot it hard. 8th gear by the time you reach the control line. Head down towards turn 1. Only flick down by 2 gears as well. Get most power through the corner. Drift through turn 2. Open up the DRS on the run down towards turn 3. Villeneuve, Alonso and Martin Brundle all end up in the gravel chop there. Hard on the brakes as well. Back on the power. You've now got more room to let the car drift wide. Fastest part of the track coming up as well as you sweep through. Now, what used to be a braking zone, now just a light tap of the brakes and carry a lot of speed in. The reprofiled turn 7. Down now through 8 and 9. Used to be a chicane area of the track. Now it's just a big straight. They don't even consider it a corner on Bayside View. Down now to a long sweeping turn 9 as well. Keep to the inside. Drift out to the outside. Drop down 2 gears. Flick the car in. Back on the power. Turn 11 now, one of the most crucial parts of the track to try and make an overtaking spot. It's a hard 90-degree right-hander. Hit the brakes hard all the way down, 5th gear. Maybe 4th if you're feeling a little bit too much speed coming through the corner as well. Now into the unmodified part of the track from the previous years. This last corner, always a problem. Carry in just as little speed as possible. Don't get a rear wheel on the grass. Boot it hard up the last corner. Open up the DRS and hurtle down towards the line. And that is a lap of the Albert Park Street Circuit in Australia. Hello, everybody. Good morning. First of all, very well done if you have woken up or are staying up, wherever you are in Europe. Well done for this. It is true die-hard technology to stay up and watch a practice session from a night race. And also, just want to say well done as well for watching live is always best. And hello to everyone over in America and in the Australias who have got a decent timed race in many respects as well. Welcome to the graveyard shift. It's 2:20 in the morning, and alongside me is Josh T and Nathan Richards as well. So Josh, Richie, we're getting set for the first session. It's going to be a very long night, Richie, but we've got this stuff to get through. I've got 2 litres of water to help me through it as well. How are you doing this evening?
Tired. One way to put it, but I thought, well, we've got nothing to lose. Might as well watch the practice.
Yes.
You know, a bit of entertainment
Yes.
late at night. And obviously, I need to get my schedule into a bit of a nocturnal stage. So then when it comes to the quali in the race, I'm actually awake. Because the last thing I want to do is miss quali in the race. That would not something I want to do.
Josh, I haven't actually gone to bed yet. I was up at 9 a.m. and it's now 2:20 a.m. and I haven't slept. And I'm not planning on sleeping either until after the Formula 2 qualifying later on today. And then we'll get all the shows out during the day as well after, you know, when MotoGP is going on and all that lot. We'll get all those sorted. But how are you adjusting? Are you nearly ready?
Well, firstly, good morning, everyone. And this first day for me, this first 24 hours or 30 hours is a bit crazy for me, as I've got a lot of things around. So I was up around 10 to 9 this morning, and, well, not this morning, yesterday morning, but it's still this morning because I've not gone to bed yet. But I won't be going to sleep until 3 p.m. today.
Oh.
Or not even that, maybe probably around, I could have a nap for like maybe 2 hours, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. or 3 till 6, then get up for another couple of hours. But proper sleep, 9 till midnight, half midnight. So yeah, no sleep for me because of all of my schedules.
For goodness sake, I know you weren't supposed to be on this first practice, but you're definitely not on practice leave tomorrow. Just have some sleep, have some rest. Richie...
No.
Okay, fine. Richie...
What's party in VC Discord with Omi and me?
Richie, we've had F2 and F3 as well kicking around. You're with us for the F2 races this weekend alongside Synthol will be with us for practice 2 later with Jess. It's weird seeing support series in Australia,
Yes.
and now we sort of know what the track looks like coming into the practice sessions. It's a green track and everyone's having problems spinning, but are you expecting anything different in F1 this afternoon? Anything that we're going to have to keep an eye on, or is this going to be a normal session of warming the track
I think
up?
it'd be nice to see what this fourth DO zone actually does. Because obviously in 2022 they said no, we're going to get rid of it because it's dangerous. So now I'm thinking, what have they done to make it so it's safe? Because I haven't looked into the track or anything, but I haven't noticed any significant changes of how they wouldn't have made it much safer. So the question is, what have they done to make that fourth DRS zone actually not dangerous? Or in other words, they thought, actually, you know what? We'll put the danger in there. We'll just add it in anyway.
Well, when we get to the session, I know someone will have the race director's notes, as I do, up as well with the changes to the circuit. There hasn't been that many, but the adjustment with it is pretty much Tech Pro barriers and that lot. But the biggest one, I think, Josh, comes at the pit exit line.
Yeah, pit exit width reduced 4 meters and pit exit lines shortened, ends STC2 line, and just some alignment of barriers and tyre barriers to maintain 1 meter height at turn 11. Left hand side, so some levelling of the thirds at turn 13 on the left hand side, and reduction of 2 concrete barriers to the end of the separation wall between support and F1 pit wall, and then just some alignment of Tech Pro at turn 2 right hand side and turn 5 left hand side. So not a lot, just some realignment of Tech Pro and barriers and stuff like that. And a new vehicle opening on the left hand side at Marshall Post 10.5, which is 10.5 is at in the Marshall Post, well, Marshall Flag Sector 16,
Yeah.
Mini Sector 16, which is in between 10 and 11.
I'm going to have to stop you.
Excuse for all of those. Yep, go on.
Right, practice 2 underway at 5:45. Practice 3 underway 2:15, same time as it is for practice 1. Qualifying from 5:45. Race on 5 a.m. and then lights out at 6 as well. Weekend review will air on Monday, as always, with a panel of guests. Here it comes then. Enjoy first one of the race weekend. Oh, don't give me those wide eyes as well and complaining that the coffee's not hot enough. You don't need any other stimulants but the music in the background. Welcome as Formula One heads to round 3 of the 2023 Formula One World Championship. It's the Albert Park Street Circuit, Melbourne Down Under. The longest away race of the year as well. The Australia continent as well delivers us with some awesome racing. It's a 5.278 kilometre circuit, that's 3.280 miles, full throttle for 71% of the lap, 14 turns, 4 DRS zones, top speed of over 202 miles an hour as well, elevation change at 2.44 metres. A man-made circuit as well, around a man-made lake in the heart of Albert Park, Melbourne. Pirelli bringing the C4 soft red, C3 medium yellow and C2 white hard tyres to this event as well. Track got modified last year, remember that as well. Got a few dark clouds lambering above the top of the circuit, but we've avoided so far the rain. That's due to come in practice 2 this afternoon. Track temperature 29 degrees, air temperature is at as well as we were talking about 17 degrees, track temperature 29 degrees as well, blowing in from the southeast. Beautiful at the moment. We've had good morning with Formula 3 and Formula 2 heading out there. We've also had the supercars out there for another race coming up as well. Shane van Gisbergen winning race 1 yesterday as well, and if anybody hasn't got him in pick a winner, that's very much a subject to talk about. But 400,000 fans will be making their way into the circuit as we see Jenson Button, who's commentating this weekend alongside Richard Brooks and Korean Chatnock, who's made his way up to the commentary box. 400,000 fans will make their way through the gates here at Albert Park over the course of the 5 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday as well. And a new DRS zone that was trialled back in 2022 introduced on the run out of turn number 9. It looks absolutely fantastic. The fans can't wait, and we can't wait either. It's always good when Formula One heads down under. Now alongside me in the commentary box is Josh T and Nathan Richards as well. Richie, coming to you first. Bright-eyed, bushy-tail, getting ready. It's a long night for us. Have no fear, F1 is here.
Yeah. In a way, I'm relieved, but then again, you're going to think, well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's it's not the most ideal way to watch F1, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we sit here and moan about having one day where we have to be up early. The poor Australians have to do it nearly every weekend. So,
yeah.
To be fair, we're quite lucky. But then again, I'll use the excuse of, well, we're not used to it, so that's why it's worse for us. But it's good to be back, and with F2 and F3, even better.
Yeah. And Josh, we were just looking there down at the grid where after a number of drivers, including Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso, given penalties in the opening 2 races, the grid boxes have been widened by 20 centimetres either side of the pit box as well, in order to make it easier for the drivers to get in the lines. They've also been given a very handy arrow in between the grid boxes on the start line. Do you reckon that's going to help? Because we've seen it many a time in the past, drivers just sort of pushing as much as they possibly can in order to get the best out of the car.
It is way too early for this, but yes, it could help. It for some drivers, it could. Some drivers might just ignore it and keep doing what they have always been doing. But we are a matter of seconds away from the green light. Here's Fernando Alonso's tyres. If you're watching along with the TV pictures, along with us, and I'll pass over to Joss for the green light.
Bang on time. Green light, away we go then for the first practice session. I tell you what, the Seagulls are just at the exit of turn number 1. They'll soon be told to go away as the Ferrari heads out on the track of Carlos Sainz. Esteban Ocon's doing a practice start, so Zhou Guan Yu's going to follow him down to turn 1. There goes the Seagulls. And the first practice session for the Australian Grand Prix of 2023 is underway, and the cars are going to help us stay awake as well. Last year, of course, in Australia, we didn't have the track noises in our earphones as well, so staying awake was a little bit harder to focus on the sessions. This year, it's going to be a lot easier. And to everyone who listens in and tunes in and syncs up your coverage, good evening to you. Very pleasure to have you as well. Dimas says, good morning, Joshua Burge from Indonesia. Good morning, Dimas, as well. Hello to Omi as well. We're hearing him in FP3 alongside, I think you, Richie, as well, coming in. As they all come in. Nathan with a Ferrari shirt has to deal with the pain of me, with me and Ferrari doing bad. And you've already replied, Richie, with one worse than earlier on as well. So it's all getting a little bit too much out there as well.
Well,
go on, Richie.
I was going to say, to be fair, earlier I did have a Red Bull jacket, a Ferrari t-shirt, and a Lewis Hamilton monster. So it's, you know, I can. If that was on the stream earlier on PSR, I'd have a lot of people having a go at me for that. But this time I've only got the Ferrari t-shirt, so either that means Ferrari are going to do well, or I'm going to jinx them by supporting them with a shirt. So we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, practice 1 doesn't really mean a lot, but it gives you that generic boundary of where they'll be. You know, if you see, for example, Mercedes in that top 10, that indicates that they'll probably be one of the quick guys in the race. If you saw Williams at the bottom, that indicates they're going to be near the back. And I don't know if it's just my eyes or that McLaren looks like it's had a little bit of a change on the side pod. It could just be my eyes, but it looks like it's got. The side pod looks a bit more sticky out, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, it's a little bit wide at the back of that McLaren. It looks like it's got more of a Mercedes end pod on it as well, which is what we've seen now, how the halo sort of becomes part of it. So down to the pit lane now with Ted.
Listening now, what's the fastest car in Formula 1 at the moment? It's the Red Bull, and potentially the fastest car in Formula 1 at the moment is about to get even faster, because the attention for me this morning, or this afternoon Australian time, is the new front wing on this Red Bull. Yes, it's only race 3, and yes, they've won the other 2, but already we're seeing upgrades on this Red Bull RB19. You see where it says bi-bit? So yes. The top 2 flaps are different, so there's a greater load of downforce on the front 2 flaps. And if you can see the end plate, just where it says Claro on the inside, where it says Mobile 1 on the outside, it's nice and twisted. It's a nicely re-profiled front wing end plate on this Red Bull. So, as well as that, they've got some improvements, some upgrades to the rear brake cooling, which actually makes it more aerodynamically efficient and better brake cooling as well. So, as I say, the best is getting a little bit better potentially if those upgrades work. Are there any upgrades on the Ferrari? No, there aren't. Oh. And we can talk about that a little bit later. There aren't any upgrades on the Mercedes either. But just to give you a feel for the most popular person, if the crowd's reaction is anything to go by down here at Red Bull Racing, it's, no, not Jonathan Wheatley, not Christian Horner, it's that guy on the end of the pit wall. Daniel Ricciardo has had the best reception. Yes, he's not driving. He's had the best reception
there he is.
In the paddock. Can you see him? There he is.
Yes.
Christian Horner actually is quite interesting, quite funny.
Danny's there.
Christian Horner had to show Daniel how the buttons worked. When was the last time Daniel Ricciardo? Never, not for 13 years or whatever, has Daniel Ricciardo sat on a pit wall gantry and actually been in there as well. So yeah, clearly the most popular member of the Red Bull team, if the crowd's reaction is anything to go by, and he's a reserve driver and is sitting on the pit wall.
Great stuff.
Thank you very much, Ted. As they come through, Lance Stroll's going to complete a lap time. It's Gasly 1:28.60 across the line, and Stroll does go fastest, 1:23.019.
I've noticed.
Go on.
The live stream is actually delayed to the live feed, because on my second screen with the timings, Lance Stroll said his lap time 6 seconds before it came up on the stream.
Yeah, we know that. It's one of those things.
Also,
with Sky.
Look on the stream there, Scotty James. Are we meant to pretend to know who he is? Because I've never heard of him, but they seem to know him. He's perfectly well.
I believe supercar driver, if I'm not too mistaken. Josh, I'll defer to you.
I saw snowboarder.
Yeah. Oh, it's a snowboarder.
Wow.
Oh, it's the Red Bull snowboarder from last year then.
What a surprise, Max.
I
First session
have
name.
noticed something as well.
Go on.
That the stream is an incredible 2 seconds delay.
Yeah, I was going to mention how I managed that, but it's a bit hard to understand as Piastri goes top with a 122.74, Gasly 122.274. All I'm saying is that at this current moment in time,
Don't touch anything, Josh. that you're
exactly, I'm
meant to.
not touching anything, but the computer has had a bit of an update, and the BOS system, the BIOS system, has updated as Lance Stroll's going a bit slow, and that's what caused the yellow flag out there on the circuit in sector 5 as they come through. We are still green out here on the circuit. Verstappen's already looking quick. Hamilton 122.063. Verstappen, however, in the middle sector is already quite quick. In fact, he's very quick.
Perez.
Oh, 1.7 seconds. Well, that's it. Good night, everybody. We don't need to be here anymore. Who knew the Red Bulls were still going to be fast?
I'm out.
Yeah, sleep time, everyone.
Has Stroll got an issue, or did he just pull over? Alonso up to 4th.
I think he's
Max,
nursing.
though, he's purple
yeah.
over Perez. What does he do? Up to the line? Will it be an 18? Will it be a 19? It'll be...
A 20.
Oh, so he let off, I presume.
And he was on soft tyres as well, so it's a 121.272, 1 second off the pace. Yeah, Stroll just was changing some settings around. That's what caused the yellows. He seems to be up to speed now. This is Logan Sargent coming down into turn 6 and 7 at the back of the track. Got some radio.
I'm bottoming so much I can't even see. So,
we were wondering that was going to come back, weren't we, about the porpoising as well. Especially, we saw it so much here in Australia with the Ferraris 12 months ago, and it's just bouncing around out there, and we can't seem to stop it.
The Ferrari looks quite well planted, actually. It doesn't look like it's having any issues, does it, with the porpoising?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, you're both wearing red, so I'm just going to sort of step back from that and just say I'm not part of me.
See,
You could kind of call this red, but it's not red at the same time, so that is in my defence.
Hulkenberg 3rd, 22 flat, 2 seconds off.
Roll is on a good lap time, a couple of purple mini sectors, quite a couple in the 3rd sector.
Tsunoda.
Tsunoda goes 3rd with a 121.806. Hulkenberg 122.016 goes 4th, and there is a Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, I do believe, going very slow. Or that was George Russell. Apologies, but Perez, of course, set the fastest lap time a couple of moments ago, 120.267. Where did Lance Stroll go? He went 120.473 with second in the purple, 34.203, second 3.
Let's go down to Ted, who's down at Lando.
Hi, Ted. Yes.
Can you hear me?
down by Lando's garage?
Okay,
yes, we
right.
can hear you.
Sorry, so it's so noisy down here, I can't actually hear myself. So sorry, was that some team radio, Rachel?
Yes, sorry, we'll come to that in a second. You carry on.
Tell me if team radio comes up, and then I'll just shut up for a minute.
Okay.
Right, Lando Norris. Yes, they're just making some adjustments to the. I don't think it's an issue because they've just got some parts that they have. It looks like a sort of planned change, but. They're not going. He's not going anywhere at the moment. So yeah, I just want to tell you that he is, as you say, still in the garage, and will be out soon. Sorry, there's some more team radio.
Sorry,
I'll shut up. You can do the team radio.
It's gone already.
And Hamilton save got bouncing, and Verstappen, despite going 4.5 tenths faster in the middle sector, as you can see, with a 17.836, he is, however, complaining of the radio. He's having gear shift up and down issues. So we're going to listen to the car. I mean, there's a slight grumble I can hear when it comes down, like there's a few things rumbling, but
This will be a very nice lap.
yeah, to me it seems fine. It's going to go fastest, and you're right, Richie. 119.332,
See,
first one in.
I think yet again the Red
Nearly
Bull.
a second.
I think the reason Red Bull are struggling so much with the gearbox is they are pushing the car so much. They're putting so much on the gearbox itself. It's struggling a lot. I think the Red Bull's that quick. The gearbox is struggling to keep up. So I think we'll see lots of gearbox issues for many races to come. Is that an issue there for the Williams?
It's, I believe,
No, it's
Alexander Albon coming out the last corner, going to start a push lap, I believe.
I thought he was going very slow for a second. So Norris hasn't been out. Don't think that's an issue, or if they're just setting the car up. Alonso's only done a couple of runs. He's only 15th. Ferrari not looking quick, but then again, it's first 10 minutes of practice. What it means absolutely nothing.
Yellow.
Yellow, yeah, where's this on the
Magnussen,
circuit?
K-Mag.
Oh, K-Mag stopping on the track. He's in the gravel at turn 3. Now he's got the car going, so this will be a short yellow. Yeah, he's got it out. But we saw that a lot in the... Oh, don't run over those. They're quite harder than the one-off area cones. Magnussen back on the track, but we saw that a lot in the Formula 3 and Formula 2 practice sessions. Everyone is struggling with grip and the rear stepping out on them and jumping over the curbs earlier on this morning as well in the opening sessions. And, well, late last night for us here in the UK. This is how we did it then, coming to turn 3.
Way too late, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, bit of a sod on the rear. So he caught it, hence why went into the gravel. Not ideal at all. And it's just on the braking, is it? The rear's just stepped out. Luckily, he was pretty much stopped at the apex when he had that issue. So luckily, he didn't go straight on, a bit like what happened to Alonso and Kubica had that incident down at turn 3 before.
Back in 2010, wasn't it, as well?
And there is Gunther Steiner, the team principal of Haas, not looking too happy, but not looking too angry either. And there we are. Look at that camera angle.
Oh,
that is really nice. Makes the cars look like rocket ships. There's Lewis Hamilton just coming up towards the end of the middle section towards turn on 10 at the chicane. And obviously we've got the 4 DRS zones now. Was 3 last year, was meant to be 4, but they thought actually no, it's too dangerous. We're going to only have 3, but now they thought actually no.
Big
Big
twitch!
slide!
Coming out of 9
was...
into 10, the rear of that Mercedes stepping out the medium compound tyre. Lewis did well to catch it there as well.
That was...
Yeah.
Oh, it hit the grass as well there.
Yes.
Turn 11. That was a scary one then.
Yeah, some leaves have blown onto the entry curb on the left-hand side of the... And there's a lot of traffic here coming into the final 2 corners. And let's see his lap time across the line.
It would have been nice
Hamilton.
if we could see that replay.
I hope he will. He still improves on time, not position though. 120.090. But let's see a replay of it, shall we? Come on, directors. Sargent up to 9th. 121.151. Here it is.
There we are.
So watch the rear of the car. We're going to go on board. Clips the curb, and the rear steps out.
Yeah, that Mercedes, yet again, it's had rear problems in Jeddah, didn't it?
Yeah, coming into the same part.
Jesus! That was lucky to save that.
Fastest part of the track. We already saw this morning Formula 3 car end up in the wall due to a similar incident, a little bit of a raised eyebrow there for Toto Wolff. There's Mick Schumacher, and he gets a smile as well. Yeah, you can go off now. Go on, hello.
I'm glad that you cut me off there, because I nearly said it's Michael Schumacher. But no, it's not.
Technically, it is Michael Schumacher Jr. It's just that everyone refers to him as Mick Schumacher. Yeah. Right, should we get into the elephant in the room, chaps, and talk about the one person who sort of made a return to Formula 1 this weekend?
The man, the myth, not the legend to Mercedes fans.
He's not... Right, I just want to confirm this. He's not back in Formula 1. He's here as the senior official of the Supercars Championship, the Australian. He's here as the Australian touring car official.
Supercars.
Yeah. Oh, well, they're touring cars, well, aren't they? So...
Go on, Josh, say his name.
Michael Masi is back. Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, Michael Masi is back in Formula 1 this weekend, but only with the supercars. But he was in the F1 paddock. He was seen yesterday talking with several of the drivers. Lewis Hamilton was asked about it in the press conference. Are you going to speak to Michael Masi? He said no. I don't look back. I always told about the future. But a fan was in the paddock and went up to Michael Masi and said, "No, Michael, no, that is so not right." And also, Michael stopped, gave him a thumbs up and everything. And then the fan said, "But how are you going to ever explain what that decision was about in Abu Dhabi?" And Michael then walked off. But it must be, I mean, it's literally stepping back into the lion's den, isn't it?
Yes.
I can
It's like-
I can completely understand why everybody dislikes him, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it was a mistake in a very high pressure situation. I hold no grudges with the man in terms of the fact that he got it wrong. Everyone gets it wrong every now and then. He lost his job because of it. All the death threats, everything was completely stupid and unwarranted. It's a sport at the end of the day. It's not life. And I think that's where it went too far. But he did make a mistake and he lost his job because of it. But he's
See-
back, guys. What do you reckon?
I think if I was to say I don't hold the grudge against him, it wouldn't look too good, being as I do support Max.
Yeah, I suppose Yield's pretty much locked
Obviously,
in.
you know, it's hard for me really to try and not, like, you know, at the end of the day, he made a mistake, yes. And I do believe that at the end of the day, people change. Never should he be allowed back into Formula One. I don't think he should. And what happened there to
What's
Checo?
happened with Checo?
11.
Bit of
Ooh,
sparks
lots of
coming out of
sparks.
5, yes.
But yeah, I don't think that he should be allowed back in Formula One after the mistake he made. It's a big mistake. It cost the championship for Lewis. And also, it would have ruined it for Max as well, because he didn't win it in the way he would have wanted to. But yeah, I don't think he shouldn't be allowed back. If I think he's allowed to come and watch the Formula One. You know, he's allowed to. You can't, hold that against him.
I mean,
so yeah,
yeah.
people. There'll be people that enjoy him here. There'll be people that won't. And Albon goes 5th, and there is Fernando Alonso, the man everyone seems to love. He was going to set it on pole last year, but had some hydraulic issues in the Alpine, so didn't finish his lap.
Yeah,
so
that was
Fernando
annoying.
Alonso, he'll definitely be one to watch this weekend. Not going to say he's going to win, but I think just say Red Bulls have issues, Fernando's the next one to capitalise.
Yeah, it used to be
Yeah.
Ferrari or McLaren, or Mercedes, didn't it? But yeah, Josh,
Because-
what do you reckon of it all with the Michael Masi situation coming in as well? You were there in Abu Dhabi 21. You were commentating on the race with us as well.
Yeah, it was chaos, absolute chaos. But as Verstappen goes top 119.278 as he comes across the line.
15,000 clear of Perez. Go on.
Yeah, and keeping an eye on Alonso as he's just coming through turn 9 and 10 going up towards there. But Michael Masi, whatever you do, I'm fine with him being a Paddock. Big mistake, cost the championship, but high pressure situation. I don't really mind. It was my mind's changed after I look back to it, because it was also in that situation when you were commentating on it in the race as well. But whatever you do, just lock the race control door when it's when an F1 session is on, and I have to press the button on my remote as it is telling me that I have been awake for way too long.
I managed to turn that feature off, thankfully. Alonso crosses the line, stays 19th as well, last overall, but he's on the hard compound tyres. It's a 1:22.727. Lando Norris has completed 2 laps, but he's back in the pit lane doing some changes. Stoffel Van Dorn watches on as well, fresh off the previous racing weekend, of course, when he was in Sao Paulo as well with DS Penske as well. This is Verstappen down at turn 12, clipping the inside curve. Does he go on the grass? Yes, he does. He gets on the gravel as well.
3's 4th,
We're dragging the
119.933.
brakes too much. That's the problem.
So,
Okay.
Red
What do
Bull
you mean by that?
having many issues at the start of the session, so now their main aim will just be ironing it all out. So the bad gear issues, that really can't be fixed unless they do major works to the car, but the fact that they're dragging the brakes, that can be sorted out in the pit lane. So Red Bull are quick, but they've definitely got issues they need to solve in the next part of this session, or at least in the next session, because you don't want to be having dragging brakes and gearbox issues in the actual race or the qualifying. It would not be ideal. And the track around here, even though it's quite a wide track, it's not somewhere you can really, there's not much margin for error. You make one mistake, you're in the wall. It's high speed, and that's as well why I think Williams might be quick. You've got 4 DRS zones, high speed. That is good for Williams. And Alonso there going 14th fastest, just 1.7 seconds off the back of Verstappen. There's Albon coming around the final corner. He's cutting his 8/10 off. Can he improve? Not looking too bad. He improves to 4th. Very nice. And like I said earlier, the Williams not looking too bad. Obviously, practice 1, but it can all change. Obviously, but it can all change. And Stroll and Albon the exact same time at 19.766.
You are correct as well.
And possibly hear me out. This could be the first time this season we actually see someone other than Alonso, Perez, and Verstappen. Stroll on the top 3 at the moment.
Well, it's
Or
about
Albon.
time. Stroll has literally been, in my eyes, the biggest loser, not in terms of the fact that he's a loser, but in terms of he's been the biggest loser for the first 2 races because of that injury he's had. He's had a broken wrist, he's had a broken toe, he's really struggled with everything. So, in honesty, I honestly think we're going to see something a lot different from him this weekend. And we're just riding with Fernando Alonso now as well, as we'll cut to the Paddock cam for the time.
Verstappen
Looking quick, isn't
in
he?
the 118s, 118.790.
So his first sector, yellow, so he didn't improve. His middle sector, purple, 2 tenths ahead of Perez. And his third sector, half a tenth slower than Perez. So it's that middle where Verstappen's really gaining.
Yeah, I think Stroll's got a very good shot here of being, I think, maximum. I reckon he's going to be on it for a podium at some point this weekend. Stroll could be on it. Alonso, too, could be in for a race win. If Red Bull come here undefeated, but nobody stays undefeated forever, we're going to be in for a very close weekend, I reckon. And especially, Josh, as the weather's playing a factor. The weather forecast isn't that secure as it is for the rest, because rain's due to come in practice too, and then later on in the weekend as well for qualifying tomorrow.
Yeah, and Richie, I know you were talking about F3 crosses. F3 Twitter posted something 11 minutes ago which you might like, so I would recommend you have a look at that. But back to what you said, Lewis Hamilton has been the FIA Formula 1 docs have gone a little bit
Not
crazy
again.
over Lewis Hamilton and jewellery.
Oh, no.
Every
Again.
weekend it's coming in the same old thing, isn't it? It's about the fact is that
And
who's going to have it?
it is no further action.
Oh, good. I presume
Yeah.
because of the jewellery thing being part of the rules, even though we know it's no further action, they still have to address it every week because it's
Yeah.
part of the procedure. But Jesus Christ, just get rid of that rule for God's sake. If somehow it gives him an injury, and his piercing goes through his nose if he crashes, then so be it. Just get rid of the rule. We don't need it. Let Lewis be. It's his choice. He should be able to do what he wants.
Team L8s are going to come for you now, Ritzy.
Well, that already happens on Twitter. Not surprising.
Boo.
I was going to say, you are pretty much around there a lot, aren't you? As well as they're coming through. Right, we just want to take a look as well about... I just want to get a quote from Lance, but I can't seem to find anything on Twitter. I've got Carlos Sainz, but that's later in the programme.
Alonso,
We'll talk about
it's a
him.
5th on the hards.
There we go. He's coming back alive now, isn't he?
So his last sector, a 10th off Verstappen, middle sector 3 tenths, first sector 5 tenths.
Okay.
So he's got a bit of time in the bag.
He's coming up fast, isn't he, as well? Let's take a listen then
Yes.
quickly as well. We were all wondering last time out why Lewis Hamilton had split from his personal trainer of 7 years, Angela Cullen. This is what he had to say over the radio.
Is that role to have somebody so close to you, helping you and getting you in the best physical shape as well as everything else?
Well, when I started in Formula 1, I was Hinso was my dear friend Aki, who passed away from cancer, but he had a huge influence on me even getting into a team, and then he started up this company where he was usually servicing athletes, and pretty much all the drivers use Hinsa, where medical and for trainer application and physio and stuff like that. But it's an incredibly challenging role, I think, for anyone in those positions. There's a lot of traveling, there's a lot of time away from family. You grow incredibly close together. If you're at dinner or during your weekends and while you're traveling, it's usually you and your trainer or physio, and whether it's your family or whatever it may be, it's incredibly intimate in that sense, and you become great friends. Angela is doing, she's living her life right now. She's got so many great ideas of things she wants to do. We talk, we message pretty much every day, just because we share. So she's power ponting, and we still gonna skydive together. We're always gonna be in each other's lives. We're stuck with each other, unfortunately, or fortunately. We've been through thick and thin, so I'm grateful that our relationship is as good as it is. And I think we've probably had one of the longest relationships, I would say, in the sport. So I'm incredibly grateful for her and love her dearly, and yeah.
So that's Lewis Hamilton there as well, talking about Angela Cullinan and the fact that she's left the team. Ted is just talking about the fact that Lewis Hamilton's coming for a setup change down there at turn number 1. But yeah, now we know why Angela's left as well. Time with family is obviously very key as well. After 7 long years, that's, I suppose, all well and good. But just coming in as well as Russell crosses the line, is 11th, doesn't he improve? No, stays 11th. Is that going to have another negative effect on Lewis, as in, like, it's another person gone? Like, it's a long time to get the perfect team, and now he's losing so many key members.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will make a bit of an impact, but bit of a slide there from Nice. It will make a bit of an impact, but I think with someone at Lewis's caliber, I think he can fight through it. You know, he's a 7-time champion, so I think he's got that talent. He isn't always reliable. He doesn't need to be reliable on that team 24/7. They will get someone in place of Angela. Probably not going to be the same as Angela in terms of how close the relationship is, but there'll always be people around to support him in the sport. Whether that's Toso Wolff, his teammates, other engineers, the pit crew, there'll all be people there to support him. So I don't think he really needs that personal one-to-one all the time. I think he can get through it without it. And also, as I said before, he still speaks to Angela, so they're still good friends. He'll still get the outside support from her, just not as internal as it was before.
Lando Norris just coming through in the middle sectors now. It was a personal best sectors 1 and 2. And I don't think he's going to improve too much as he's just testing the car out then. He did 2 laps earlier on and then came in, did some changes. Now the car's doing another 2 laps. Russell stays 11th as well, 1:20.159 on the soft compound tyres. Lando on the mediums, up towards now the line. 20th with no time, jumps up to 16th. With a 1:21.246, still time to be found in that McLaren then. Verstappen leads, 1:18.790 from Perez second as well. Stroll third, Albon fourth, Alonso fifth. Josh, is it pretty much status quo, or I think the only surprise there is Albon coming in with seeming genuine pace as we take a quick look at George Russell down turn 7.
Yeah, let's have a look. And he goes
over the rumbles and makes a snap.
Yeah.
Yet again, Mercedes brake issues, and also that is Nick de Vries running on the rumble strips down at, I believe that's same corner as where Russell landed it down
turn
at
1.
7.
That's turn 1.
Oh, my bad. I'm
right.
tired, that's my excuse. And we're on board with Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc, and it is Carlos Sainz very close to the wall there. Let's see what time he can do in that first sector. 3/10 off Verstappen. Through into the end of sector 1 now, charging all the way down towards chicane at 9 and 10. And Sainz not seemed really that quick, has he? I think he let off.
Yeah, he's backed off, I think, coming through. Is he still fast in the middle sector? 7/10. So I think he's backed off a bit. Yeah,
that's
Oscar.
Also a
that's
Lando.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very close from there.
Carlos Sainz almost running
over the McLaren.
Yeah, Carlos Sainz almost running at the back of Lando Norris coming out of turn 10. Piastri's gone 5th fastest on a 1:19.777 as Sainz did look like he backed off early on in the lap, and I don't think this is going to be anywhere near the time of Verstappen. This seems to be a little bit of a longer run.
8/10 off.
Yeah, so 8/10 massively off the gamble there. It's a longer run.
Leclerc, 2/10 off Verstappen in that first sector. And he's just coming now through into the start of that middle sector. Let's see what Leclerc can do. Obviously, his teammate 9/10 up the road from Verstappen.
Hulkenberg 10th.
Very nice from Hulkenberg. But realistically, Leclerc should be in third 4 tenths down of
Yeah.
Verstappen. The Ferrari seemed quick in this final sector. It was only a little bit off Verstappen. Sainz was in that final sector, so hopefully we can see Leclerc within reaching distance of the Red Bulls a little bit as he comes through in towards 10 11. Very nice now in towards 12 and 13. Russell 8 tenths down, but has a yellow middle sector, so he's got time to improve still. There. Leclerc now into the final couple of corners. Let's see what time he can put on the board. He comes round the final corner. Nice and on the power up to the line. That's Hamilton. He's, well, obviously not on a proper run. He's 3 seconds down, but
So
Leclerc up to third at 5 tenths off.
1:19.378. Right.
So that's only 8,000. I mean 800 off Perez.
Russell.
Russell goes 9th.
1:19.827 as well. Right. Ferrari have given Alfa Romeo and Haas brand new power units with both drivers. So new.
Here comes Norris.
Yeah, so it's a. So new internal combustion engines for Haas and Alfa Romeo drivers this weekend. This is their second coming through. Just that was coming through to me via a text. It was in different parts as well. They've changed it to what it was. So Haas and Alfa Romeo, the Ferrari powered engines, both now on new internal combustion engines as well. And yeah, so they won't take any penalties for it, but they have got brand new ones at round 3. Josh, that's insane. It's just like this. Ferrari power is worse at the moment than ever.
Yeah, it really is. It's really not good for Ferrari power engines, and even Ferrari themselves. As Perez comes across the line, start off line lap, DRS open, it closes as he breaks into turn 1, goes a little bit on the rumble strips there and into turn 1. But I've been on Twitter and I found out something.
Oh, go on.
That Ted has his notebook. Oh, Perez!
Straight on into the gravel.
Nearly round there.
Yeah,
Big
snap,
save.
snap of the rear, keeps it through the gravel, but just loses a little bit wide. And Sergio pushing to the limits in this opening practice session. That was his first run on the soft compound tyres, and it's cost him dearly. Let's take a replay of it as well if they've got it backtracked. So comes into the braking zone, watch the rear of the car, it's going to drift out and just keeps it from spinning round. But you're right, Rich, it did nearly go round.
It did, it was a close one there. Perez getting that sorted out perfectly. On board and now into turn 3.
Watch the
Race a little bit
hands.
late. You can see struggling, bit of a slide, massive oversteer, drifts into the gravel and then just manages to hop back off onto the track. But that could be those tyres pretty much done for now. And
Yeah, here
on
comes
board with
Gasly.
Stroll, he's gone quickest for, well, he's gone
Green
personal
sector
best
1, yeah.
in the first sector. There we are.
What
Thank
did you
Josh.
find? What did you find on Twitter then, Josh? You were saying
No.
you found something.
You know how Ted has his notebook?
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
we've
look
got
at
a
this.
massive traffic jam of cars coming through the middle sector.
Jesus.
And it's Sainz,
Wow.
De Vries, Ocon, Stroll and Perez all running together in the line and blocking the track coming out of turn 11. Stroll's backed off on his lap. He's already 8 tenths down. Oh, and off the track goes Yuki Tsunoda, bringing out a yellow
Turn
flag.
2.
And he can
Turn
get it.
2.
Oh, he's on wet grass. The grass is damp. It was overnight rain as well. He just about keeps it going. We saw as well a stoppage with Oliver Behrman going off in the Formula 2 practice session, drifting off there and stalling the engine. Tsunoda's got going again though to keep the yellow flags
Massive
in.
traffic jam at turn 13 on the driver
Yeah,
track. Just having a look.
They're all backing up. So now it's getting
points.
serious.
Will we ever hear what Josh found on Twitter?
Yes.
Every time he says it's
Well, no, because here's a replay of Tsunoda. Wow,
Oh, over the
Jesus.
gravel.
Car.
Massive oversteer there, and very, very nearly went into the wall. I'm surprised he got away with that.
So
I guess
he's
Tsunoda
got oversteer, already locks up over the gravel, and look at the amount of car it bounces across the gravel. That's done a lot of damage, I would say, to the floor. No wonder he's limping in.
Definitely.
Oh, and it
Yeah.
slams back down.
Well, at least we know that Tsunoda doesn't need to worry about buying a trampoline. Otherwise, he was trying to maybe mimic a kangaroo. We are in Australia, so
Yeah.
it would make sense.
he's been higher
good.
than his own height there, hasn't he, as well? He's flown higher
Yes,
than
because he's about 3'2", and there's Lewis Hamilton
running over the back. That is...
That was a
Tsunoda.
Drive by a driver.
that was a close
that
one.
is
Why is
not-
everything
that's not good
happening in
etiquette,
practice
really.
1?
I think that might have been Gasly.
No,
No, it's De
Ferrari.
Vries. It was De Vries, I reckon, coming through at that part of the track.
Right, Josh, what did you find on Twitter?
Yes,
Right,
quickly.
I'm going to say it very, very, very quickly. You know how Ted has his notebook? Well, Ted on the Sky Sports F1 podcast has created Todd. It it is very early, okay. Ted's pod book.
Very
Ted's
good.
pod book.
I'll have to take a listen to that in between the sessions. Got nothing else to do.
Not Todd.
Right, okay.
Listen.
Alonso's gone third with a 1:19.317, 5.5 tenths off the pace of Verstappen as well. Leclerc's fourth, Sainz fifth, so Ferrari getting back up there. Russell sixth, Stroll seventh, Albon eighth, Piastri ninth, De Vries
massive traffic
10th.
jam again.
Yeah, a lot of traffic coming down. It's
Turn
still
11 and turn
Bottas,
12.
Show, Sargent, Alonso, Stroll.
Oh, Magnussen!
Magnussen wide at turn 10, grumbles over the gravel again. So what we saw in Formula 3 and Formula 2 is still the case in Formula 1. The grip is not there on the circuit, and they are sliding off at the fastest parts of the track. This has been a fantastic opening practice.
The question is though now, when do we see someone off and into the wall? Because we've had Lewis, big mistake at turn 10. Perez, Magnussen, and there's Magnussen. They're just coming into the chicane, turn on 10. Look at that. Very wide.
Hits the bum.
That is a very nice save for Magnussen there. That could have ended badly. So we've had Perez, Magnussen, we've had Tsunoda, De Vries, Hamilton, Russell, all making mistakes. And, you know, is it the fact that the track's got an issue, or is it the drivers just not being able to get used to it? And they were on board with that's Max Verstappen, the championship leader, by 1 point to his teammate as he heads into the final corner. The only man really not to have any issues with going off the track, apart from his downshift. And you go,
Ooh, late pit.
It's the pits. That was very late call. Yeah. So Joe Gasly, Norris, Sargent,
red flag.
Red flag.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, where's this come from?
Is there a phantom red flag? No, there's confirmed
It's a red flag.
Who is it?
Was that a phantom red?
Is it Alonso?
No. Well, no one stopped on the circuit as far as we can see, but the red flag's been called. But that was
Perez is stopped last corner. I think.
Yes,
I don't know.
Perez. Well, no, he's come back into the pit lane now, so I think that's a stoppage. So we've got a red flag, and nobody knows why. I think the computers are frozen, guys, because we've got no information coming from race control.
That's Alonso.
He's coming in. Yeah, we've got no information from race control. I think the computers are frozen. That's the reason.
It is a red flag because you consider. This is a weird one.
I saw the red flag
at the last corner.
At the last corner, 5 seconds before, so it could have been a phantom, but we've got absolutely no data. You can see the driver tracker.
Yeah, it's full reds
jumping around. So we are under a red flag. Of course, the clock does continue.
Where's this?
No one's off track, so is it debris maybe?
We think it's due to loss of it's loss of on-circuit GPS, which has caused some hectic scenes. So the computer's gone down. So I was wondering, because if you look at the timing screens, nothing's updated for around about 2 to 3 minutes, and we haven't had a race control message. Right, this is under the red.
Freeze.
Yeah, sorry guys, look, this is under the red flag. So Sonoda, the panels aren't working, but look, the red flags are out. So Sonoda's gone full throttle down towards turn 10 and hasn't realised that the session stopped.
Oh, that's Alonso or Stroll.
Stroll.
And De Vries.
Stroll's done it too.
Hang on.
They've all done it. They've all got. Oh, this isn't the.
Oh no,
this is the blocking of the track area.
Oh.
Yes, it was. I mean, it's
Yes, that's the traffic
jam. With the computers, not the drivers not being able to see who's behind.
Yeah. So we are under a red flag, and we now know it's because the circuit GPS has crashed. So basically, the timing monitors and the data systems that we use here on the YouTube stream and Race Control use up there as well, they've crashed. So they've had to stop the session for safety reasons. So now this is a very unusual situation. We had this in Formula E last weekend in Sao Paulo. We were under red flag for a long time trying to fix that.
I'm going to say...
No, sorry, it was MotoGP. Yeah, sorry, it was MotoGP.
At least this has woken us up, because we've had more action
in
practice 1 here than we have in the past 2 races. It's been...
magical.
Listen, if we can get some of this action in the race, I'll love it. For sure.
Yeah, we had this in MotoGP in the second practice session, and it stopped the session for like half an hour when they tried to fix it.
Oh.
This is Hulkenberg. Oh, well.
Oh, wow.
Well done, Sky.
Okay.
The thing is, don't get me wrong, I love you know, we love the racing, but when you see people going off and hitting the gravel and spinning, that's the type of action you like. You know, the proper entertainment, not the crashing into the wall at full speed. You know, obviously just, you know, the spinning, the going off track. Then you got people getting, you know, it's. I think if we have these issues, it's going to be a great race. In qualifying, that we could see, you know, we've seen some of the top guys off. Just say Verstappen goes off on his qualifying runs in Q1, that could be Verstappen out.
Right, we've got
could happen to anyone.
We've got confirmation it's red flag due to FIA computer failure. So
when does the computer unfail?
we don't know. It is GPS issues, the official confirmation, but we have got the session suspended due to these problems. Right, this is what happened with Hülkenberg. So Lando Norris on the inside line. Hülkenberg locks up and goes straight on into the grass area down at turn 13 before the pit lane entrance. So we were riding driver's eye with him, and he's just gone straight on. Nothing he could do with Lando being right there. Well, this is a really unusual situation. We've never had this. Where
right,
the GPS
I'm back
fails.
in 1 second. I'm going to grab myself a drink while the red flag's out, so I'll be back in a minute.
No worries, we've got the time. Well, hello, how tired is everyone, says behind the mic, that's Matthew. Everyone over here is absolutely tired and we're just keeping going, Matthew. But nice to see you again. Omi says as well, Josh, some good news. The watch party will happen as I'm still awake. The session's going to keep me awake, as well, says Omi. He was about to fall asleep. That's great. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the opening practice session. We're under a red flag due to a GPS failure, and the FIA computers have gone down. So that's all our timing screens, all our data information from race control hasn't come up. You can see on the, if you're watching along with us on YouTube, you can see the little box there coming in. And the last message we got was Zhou Guan Yu's team radio. Nothing has come through from race control. And now we're just sort of sitting around like lemons waiting for the session to get going again. Now we've got a replay of Zhou Guan Yu in the last corner having a lot of traffic with the Red Bull. And and slicing between the Red Bull and, so, man, this guy, what they do in the last corner, I nearly crashed into them. So it was Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez sort of creating a pincer manoeuvre that Zhou Guan Yu had to drive through in the middle of. So not great situation there. We're just waiting for Sky F1 to come back to us, and we'll pass over to see if they've got anything from Ted Kravitz in the pit lane. But red flag, Josh, and now how weird is it having to type in for your system controls and race control GPS error?
Yeah, well, luckily I was going to be doing race control messages, but I have been pulled into the comments box. But it's been quite enjoyable, even it's to be honest, keeping me awake.
Yeah. Tommy will be with us for FP2 coming up later on as well. 4-person team, I think, coming for FP2. That's going to be interesting. We'll have to change the box up a little bit.
Yeah, and guess what's going to happen in FP2?
Rain.
If, no, well, maybe. But if we are still awake, hopefully the Watts party will still be alive.
In the voice chat as well, in the Discord, it's a great place to watch the race. Right, let's go down. And this is what happened, first of all, with Zhou Guan Yu.
Man, this guy, what they do in the last car, I nearly crashed into them. The Mercedes and the Red Bull.
It was actually an Aston Martin, but I'm not going to correct him. Hello, Richie. Right, Rachel.
Team radio there, the Aston Martin, not the Mercedes, of course, but with no GPS, we are seeing
no red flag
so far. That's why we currently have a red flag. But are they restarting and about to go out again?
Well, we're not sure just yet.
We're going to have some track action again very shortly.
Yeah, we're not sure just yet when the red flag's going to come in. Stefan Alonso.
Stefan, I don't think there's anything on track. The red flag is because of the GPS problem.
There you go, confirmation for you. And Ted is in the pit lane. Ted, what can you tell us?
Well, Rachel, I hear the rumble of engines, but I don't see anybody going out. So if it does come up on the timing information screen that there will be a restart time, then do let me know. But let me explain what's going on down here. Now, I don't think if you're about to go out anywhere with using a GPS for your car, I don't think the global satellite positioning system, which of course is run and operated by the US military, has gone down. I think it's the processing element between all those GPS signals that come into Formula One and getting them distributed amongst the teams. I think that element of it has gone down, although, well, certainly that's what the teams down here believe is the issue, rather than the US military has actually turned off the whole global GPS system worldwide. Although they can do that if they want, of course, the US military, although they tend not to do it because, well, that would be chaos, wouldn't it?
It would be utter chaos. I can tell you, Ted, though, just you said to us, we obviously have the screens in here, so people at home understand we also get notification when there's a red flag. That was delayed coming to us. And we've only just had the notification now that there was a red flag at 106, so it's obviously affecting these systems as well.
Yeah, we haven't got it yet.
So a systems issue, I think, interface issue between, here we go, we're getting
Essen will resume at 13:16.
The FIA, we
That's
do,
come through,
confirmation from the FIA. There's a GPS problem, and the red flag is necessary for safety reasons, with teams not being able to monitor car position and closing speed. So while they figure out the interface between, in fact, we have cars coming out now.
We've got 50 seconds, Ted. It's going green at 116.
They have it. There you go. Was that information late coming to you as well? Good.
Yes.
All right.
That's just come literally now.
But we're going green.
Okay, we're off again.
Yes, in
thanks,
35 seconds. But sorry, Rach, I was just looking out the commentary box window, and the grandstands are really filling up. And I tell you what, there is a lot of support for Oscar Piastri here, isn't it? There's so many people I could see in McLaren and Oscar merch already. For a kid who's born 10 minutes away, or born and raised 10 minutes away from here, that's pretty cool.
Incredibly cool.
Must be some new commentary boxes, because they're not alongside there. So I think the commentary boxes have changed this year in Australia, because usually they're just to the left of the exit of the pit lane. Red flag in, green flag away we go then for the final 14 minutes of this session, and the cars will venture back out onto the circuit. GPS issue fixed, and away we go. Joe Bauer, the technical delegate, has just told Rosanna Tennant it might be justifiable as to why that requires a red flag, but the traffic jams that ensued show how reliant the teams are on the GPS. So that was a correct thing. Right, Otmar Safnau's on the pit wall. Go to Rachel.
I think Pierre, on his quick run, was held up in Sector 3, so I think he could have gone a bit quicker than that. It's hard to know fuel loads and whatever else is doing, and now I think we're off to do some long runs, so we'll probably stay where we are on the leaderboard.
Otmar, it's Karun. Just looking at your season so far, really, taking a step back. Bahrain was tricky, but you guys had, I think, a pretty good weekend in Jeddah, didn't you? Where do you think the gap is between you guys and Aston Martin? Because they've made a huge amount of progress over the winter, haven't they?
Yeah, they've taken a big step. I think we've taken a small step, and we've got to continue to work over the entire season to add more performance to the car. They're clearly ahead of us, but we'll work hard to catch them, as well as the Mercs and the Ferraris.
All right, we're back on track with lots of action, Otmar, so we will let you crack on, and we'll speak to you again across the weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Otmar Safnau then on the pit wall this weekend. Guys, session is underway once again. Max Verstappen brisking through turn number 1. Richie, do you reckon he's going to be a race winner again this weekend? Is he going to win?
I think it'd be stupid to say no. The Red Bull's quick, Max is quick, there'd be no other reason to say otherwise. I think, of course, it's logical Max will win. If the Red Bull has issues, Perez is next in line. If Perez has issues, then I'd say it's one of the Aston Martins or maybe a Ferrari next in line.
What about you, Josh? What do you think?
To be honest, don't know. Could be. I don't want to. Lewis Hamilton's had a lot of success, but I don't think it's the Mercedes has got winning powers in it right now. Maybe if Australia was later in the season, it could have done, or maybe even next season for the 2024 season when we come here again. One thing I have noticed is that Oscar Piastri's transponder is not working.
Ah, you're right. And Ferrari haven't gone out yet, and Ted's got no reason why.
To get out there and get some running. Both Ferraris are on their stands with work going on to the back of the car. Looks like some work around the diffuser. Can see a mechanic around the middle sector of the rear of the car. Not much else going on. Well, nothing going on at the front. That's on Charles Leclerc's car, which I believe you can see at the moment.
Yes,
but
we can.
Carlos Sainz looks like a similar issue. Maybe it's just to set up one of these brakes that they're changing on some of the floor section. But the tyres are just about now going on to Carlos Sainz's car, and there's a front wing angle change as well on the left-hand side as we look at it. There you go, the mechanic's just going to the right-hand side. Just a little bit of front wing change to Sainz's car. So Ferrari still clearly chasing the setup, and yeah, not happy with where they are. That's a good turnaround, and they'll be out shortly. We should update you what's going on with Fred Vasseur as well, since we're talking about it. If you see Fred Vasseur with a grimace on his face, it's because he's suffering with a bad back this weekend. So, yeah.
Not nice.
He's on the pit wall, I can see him, sort of leaning forward, taking some pressure off that back. But apparently he's in a fair bit of pain. So spare a thought for poor Fred Vasseur. He could really do with a good weekend for his cars.
Cheers, Ted, and I certainly will. As Max Verstappen has a little bit of an oversteer moment coming through turn number 1 and into T2 as well before the first of the DRS opportunities on the run towards turn number 3. So less than 10 minutes to go of this opening practice session. There's a white flag in the background for Verstappen moving a bit slowly. I'll let Sargent go through. Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Leclerc, Sainz is your top 5. Then it's Gasly, Russell, Stroll, Albon, Piastri top 10. Hülkenberg, De Vries, Norris, Hamilton, Ocon, Tsunoda, Zhou, Sargent, Bottas and Magnussen. The 20 runners so far in this opening session. And I have to agree with you, Richard, what you said earlier on. This has been more action than the entire season so far. It's a good sign of things to come. And I think it's because this is an old-style street circuit as well. There's no room for error, and there's also not a lot of room to go offline. So everyone's stacking up on each other.
Definitely. You've got to be very careful around here not to... Oh, Max just moving over, letting everyone through. Down towards turn 1. But you need to be very careful.
Purple sector 3.
Oh yeah. To 6.
33.713. 119.536.
Not bad at all from Norris. Putting himself into that top 6. And that's Carlos Sainz. They're going through towards turn 9 to 10. Not actually on a proper lap. He'll be on his out lap now. And would possibly be starting. I'm not sure what tyres he's on. Is he on the hard or the soft?
I think coming through, it's
hard.
Hard,
so he won't be sitting any quicker laps. It'll be Carlos Sainz doing some long, well, a couple of long runs. He's only got 8 minutes left to do so. So 3 or 4, maybe a couple more laps.
Is on a good lap.
So he's on a good lap. He's got a couple of purple mini sectors.
Purple mini sectors. Valtteri Bottas 2 personal bests. Here comes Sainz across the line to start a lap. No DRS open from Carlos Sainz.
He's on a long run, isn't he? On hard tyres now. This is a long run.
Want to watch Logan Sargent.
Yes, as he comes across the line behind Alonso now. Let's see where he goes. As we're focusing on Sainz, Logan Sargent goes 15th for a 120.074, and as we await Bottas as he comes out the last corner on your driver tracker, and he goes 18th for a 120.419.
The Alfa Romeo not looking as good as everyone thought it would.
Compared that to Saudi Arabia, when we were all saying Alfa Romeo were the stars of the weekend, and along with Alpine, they were shining with some great performances. And Bottas was throwing that car places we didn't expect it to be. Then had a struggling Saturday as well. Would you remember with a bad qualifying and it didn't really work out in the race? But they started strong. Alfa Romeo's struggling again at the start here in Australia. Let's hope they can have the reverse around, have a better Saturday and a great Sunday as they come into it. And those rain clouds are starting to blow in over the circuit, aren't they? We've got Formula 3 qualifying next. That's the problem that I'm thinking of.
Carlos Sainz.
Yellow.
Couple of corners.
Yeah, yellow flag. So who's gone off and where?
Magnussen. No, it's Piastri. Piastri down at turn 2.
So that's... Oh, no, it's not.
No,
it's a Red Bull.
Verstappen. It's Verstappen.
Oh.
Max Verstappen had a spin coming out of turn number 4 and 5, and that is at the baseball
Is it an
stadium.
issue? Or, oh, no, it's not an issue. He's going to get back onto track.
Piastri at turn 2 is his transponder not working.
Oh, okay.
Now,
so, yeah, that's not a
green
deal
flag.
for Max.
What's happened to Max Verstappen then?
So he's gone
Presumably.
into turn 4. I believe he's probably lost the rear on the entry. He's hit the curb and lost it, or he's hit the curb on the actual corner itself. It'd be nice if we can get a replay of what happened to Max there. You can see it into turn 3.
So Max,
a little bit wide.
Max comes in. Watch the rear of the car. If this picture shows us, it'll hit the bump and round
there.
it goes.
Yeah, bottomed out on the curb.
Yeah, he missed the apex by a little bit, didn't he? He was slightly.
Oh well, Karun, I thought that was you, Rich, talking about it. It was Karun talking over it.
I wouldn't say that was an issue with the car. It was more of an issue with him jumping that curb, and that's an example of you do not go over that curb. As you can see there, it's just sent him round. No damage to the car, no damage to anything else. It's just an unfortunate situation.
Tires.
Yep, there'll be a new. Well, I can see him not going out anymore now. This session there'll be no point. He's wasted some tyres.
Max Verstappen.
5 minutes.
Yeah, Max
That's Nico
Verstappen
Hülkenberg.
proving he's human by making a few mistakes out there today. Hülkenberg then on the lap time. He's coming up to the end of the first sector. He's on medium compound tyres. That's the C3 in this situation.
Another yellow.
Oh, where's this one?
Sergeant turn 10.
Sector
turn 10.
Sector
He
17.
might be in the wall.
Hit the wall.
I bet you he's hit the
Let's see.
wall. That's it's at the exit turn 10. He's got to have hit the wall at that
Can we
part.
see turn 10, please?
Well, we're coming up now. Hulkenberg's there. The yellow flag's out. Sargent has stopped on the driver tracker.
Yeah.
So here's
see.
Hulkenberg. Is Sargent in the wall or is he in the gravel? He's at the exit.
Oh, he's stopped.
That's a weird place.
So he's either spun in the car's cortege or he's had to pull over.
Is there damage to
But
that
look
front
at-
wing? Because I can see something hanging off at the front end there. Let's hear from him.
He's at the exit of
No,
10.
it's not.
After 10.
12. It's
12.
11. It's 11.
11.
Oh,
Looks like he's pulled over.
This will be a red flag then. So I'll just
Yeah,
wait to see
this
that.
will be the end of the set. Yep,
Red flag.
Red flag and probably the end of the session.
yet again an issue with the tracker because it said on my screen he was at the exit of 10.
Yeah, it's still. And now
Hamilton's
he's
gone second.
4/10 off the pace of Verstappen. Yeah, 1:19.223.
So Hamilton
Mercedes
will
with
go
pace.
P2 in his first practice session because it won't be restarted, surely.
Yeah.
Still 4 minutes. It could be possible to get something out there.
Yeah, well, it could be the first time that the practice session isn't Verstappen, Perez, and Alonso.
That's true, because Hamilton
I
split
didn't think
it.
Hamilton's name would be making an appearance there.
Let's take a look then.
Let's have a replay.
Let's listen. This is on board with Logan Sargent.
Oh, it's completely cut out.
The driver track is having moments as well.
So the engine's cut out.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
pulled
turbo.
round, just. So yeah, not ideal at all.
Are we
Brilliant.
Hang on.
having a slight...
Yeah, it just died there, and, and that was.
And this is
Perez.
Sergio Perez down towards turn 1. Has he made a mistake
I
into
think he's
turn
had
1?
I think he's had a 360. No,
Yeah, session will not be resumed.
Yeah. So it seems like Hamilton will take P2 in the practice session. Our first time since Abu Dhabi 2022 we've seen someone on the practice leaderboards other than Verstappen, Perez and Alonso. There we are, the red flag being waved very nicely in front of us for us all to see.
So, the end of the first practice session, and it ends 4 minutes before the schedule end. 2 red flags, one for a GPS issue, one for Logan Sargent's car cutting out as well, and it sounds like a turbo failure. The session ends then with Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, the top 3, Alonso, Leclerc, top 5, Sargent, Norris, Gasly, Russell, Stroll completing the top 10, Albon, Piastri, Hülkenberg, De Vries, Sargent, Ocon, Tsunoda, Bottas, Zhou and Magnussen. Sargent's already behind the wall, and because he's abandoned the car, it's too much now to get that car back in, and the session will not be resumed. So practice 1 is over.
We might have a slight delay to F3 quali as I was having a look on the T-Feed driver tracker. I know it's a red flag, but they were stopping for 2 seconds, then jumping ahead, then stopping for 2 seconds, or 3 or 4, then jumping ahead again. So driver trackers, again with the GPS, might be a bit of an issue.
It's glitched our computers up here in the commentary box as well, actually. So the YouTube stream's going a little bit fuzzy at the moment due to that problem with the GPS trackers. So the red flag is out. Let us know if you can still hear us at least, because then that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, good. So we'll just leave it on the voice then for a while. Let the system sort itself out. Nothing else can happen in the session anyway, so we're under the red flags. Well, I'm quite disappointed with that, to be fair. It was a very exciting session, but Richie, anything changed your mind going into practice 2 later on? I think Hamilton was the surprise of the session there, going P2.
No. Red Bull is still quickest, Aston Martin still seems second quickest, Ferrari a little bit quicker, but it's practice 1. And then another thing to take away is the fact of everyone out there is struggling. You got the likes of Max, the quickest out, he's struggling. You got Hamilton, Perez made a mistake, both the Ferraris, a couple of drives down, you know, Nick de Vries and Tsunoda. So issues galore for many drivers. So I wouldn't say that's ideal at all, but we'll have to see what happens in practice 2.
What about you, Josh? What do you make of that opening session then from Albert Park?
Quite good. Lap times, but as you said, quite boring. But I think we might have lost Omi to sleep.
So it's Lewis Hamilton who finishes second fastest. That's the biggest surprise, certainly for me in this session. Max Verstappen still tops it, with Sergio Perez third, Fernando Alonso fourth, Charles Leclerc fifth, Carlos Sainz sixth, Lando Norris is 7th, 8th for Pierre Gasly, 9th George Russell, and Lance Stroll rounds out the top 10. Omi's still there, ready for the next session, which is great to see. After that, we'll go and we'll have Albon, Piastri, Hulkenberg, De Vries and Sargent, Ocon, Tsunoda, Bottas, Zhou and Magnussen as well. So we're going to leave it on this image because OBS is having a bit of a nightmare, so I'm going to ask one word to sum up the practice 1 session, and I'll start with you, Richie. What was that one word?
Chaos.
Good one. Josh, what's your one word?
Boring.
Well, different. That's very opposite. What do you, Josh? What's your one word?
Can I go to sleep now?
Yes, you can. I will say.
I mean, it was quite chaos.
I would say intriguing is my word. That opening
So
session.
we've got chaos, boring, and intriguing. 3 very different words.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we F3
But Josh,
qualify.
make sure once you go to practice 2, whoever you're with, make sure you ask them what they think of practice 2, and then we can compare the words.
Yes, I will. We've got Tom, Synthol, and Jess joining us, I think, for that session as well. It's going to be a very busy combox as well. Okay, we'll be back at 5:45 a.m. British Standard Time for all of the action. Max Verstappen fastest in the first session. That gets disrupted due to GPS problems and Logan Sargent stopping on the track. We'll see you later. Bye for now.